And at first, I would like to share the words of our founder, Shinran Shonin, from one of his letters. So please join me in gassho. Please put your palms together. May peace and tranquility prevail throughout the world. May the Buddhist teaching spread. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Nam. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to today's Shotsuki monthly memorial service. And nice to see you all here today. And hopefully, next week or week after, we will see more Dharma school students attending services. And then we will have a full, hondo full of many people. And if you read my article in the newsletter, you already noticed, but at the end of July, I went to Cooperstown, New York, to watch Ichiro Suzuki get inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. So can I have my screen up again? So Cooperstown is a small, charming town with only about 1,800 people. 1,800. But on the induction weekend, close to 50,000 people show up. So it's town. It's known as the birthplace of modern baseball, and Doubleday Field there is considered almost sacred to players and fans. So it rained in the morning, so the ceremony was delayed about an hour, but the whole town was alive like a festival. So waiting wasn't too bad. Then there were so many Ichiro fans, not only from Japan, but from Seattle and many other places. And after the ceremony, the fans called out like, "Ichiro, Ichiro." And it almost made me cry because I've been a big fan of Ichiro for a really long time. And it was wonderful to witness the first Japanese player being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Then, even though we were far away from Ichiro, it was so meaningful just to be there in person. It was also the first time I have ever heard him speak English, right? Since in interview, he always used an interpreter. But he gave a wonderful speech at the ceremony. So in his speech, Ichiro said something like this. As a kid, my dream was always to be a professional baseball player. I even wrote an essay about it in grade 6, and this is the essay he wrote. If I could rewrite that essay today, I would use the word goal instead of dream. Dreams are not always realistic, but goals can be possible if you think carefully about how to reach them. Dreaming is fun, but goals are difficult and challenging. It's not enough just to say you want to do something. If you are serious, you have to think critically about what it takes to achieve it. So then, Ichiro spoke about the importance of consistency, always making the efforts, always preparing for the game. And then what's interesting is that, Shohei Ohtani, right? Who's been one of the most successful Major League Baseball player from Japan, follows almost the exact same approach. And this is the note of Shohei. Shohei writes down his goals, then surrounds them with all the steps needed to reach the goal. By setting detailed goals and sticking with them, he's being able to achieve so much. So hearing or looking at teachings like the two amazing players like Ichiro and Ohtani Shohei made me think about what was the goal of Buddhism? What was the goal of the Buddhism? Then some people say, oh, I follow Buddhism because it makes me a good person. But we often hear teachings like the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Noble Path, 6 parameters, and so on. Do these simply aim to make us good people? So that might happen. That might happen on the way. But that's not really the goal of the Buddhism. So in Buddhism, especially Mahayana, our branch of Buddhism, the aim is awakening, not only awakening for ourselves, but helping others awake too. And when we think about what awakening really means, it points to peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. The word we often hear in Buddhism, nirvana, right? Nirvana, it literally means blow out, but it is expressing the state of peace and harmony. So how do we get there, right? Now we know the goal. So how do we get there? So to reach a goal, we need a path. And different schools of Buddhism have different ways. Some say you need to complete many practices, and others say just sit. But in our tradition, Jodo Shinshu, it's through the working of Amida Buddha. We entrust ourselves to Amida's working, which brings us to the Pure Land, the realm of awakening, where we become Buddha, and then return to guide others. So our role as Buddhists is to entrust in Amida's working, which fulfills the goal as a Buddhist, And then at first, it might be difficult to accept the path, but by hearing this again and again, we come to feel that, oh, this is the path we can truly rely on. The path that doesn't lead us astray, and that's the path of Jodo Shinshu. Then people might wonder, how does this teaching connect to our daily life? So one aspect of Amida Buddha, Amida's working, is that, oh, I didn't have the screen and I went too far. But being touched by Amida's light, light softens both body and mind. Being touched by Amida's light softens both body and mind. So what does that mean? When we attach to our self-centered viewpoint, our body and mind often become so tense. But when we soften, we can reflect on self-centeredness and live with more respect for others. So I believe respect is a very important aspect or important teaching in Buddhism. And speaking of Shohei, you saw the picture already. But just recently, in a game against the Padres, a fan in the front row near third base started heckling him. And Shohei looked at him, stepped into the batter's box, and then hit a home run. As he rounded the base, Shohei went right up to that fan and gave him a high five. And some people might see that as a sarcasm, but from how thrilled this fan looked, I think he took it as the sign of respect. So moments like this remind us, even if someone has a completely different perspectives, showing them respect can turn things around. And showing respect is the first step toward a peaceful society. And Amida's light always teaches us the importance of self-reflection and respect for others. So in one of his wasan, or religious poems, Shinran Shungin wrote, "Countless Amida Buddha reside in the light of the Buddha of unhindered light." So Shinran Shungin saw his teacher Honen Shungin as a manifestation of Amida Buddha. And probably not only Honen Shungin, but many others around him as the manifestation of Amida Buddha. This is what the countless Amida Buddha means. For us, our loved ones who have passed away, our families and friends, even people we struggle with, they can be the manifestation of Amida Buddha in our daily life. They try to awaken us to our own self-centeredness and guide us toward peace and tranquility. So through Shinran Shongin's experience, he knew true peace is only possible through Amida Buddha's working in Namo Amida Butsu. That's why he encourages us to entrust ourselves to the working in Namo Amida Butsu. So every day, every encounter could be Amida Buddha calling us, awakening us to our self-centered nature and reminding us to rely on Amida's working. And so we put our hands together in appreciation for that working which guide us. So I hope today's message was somehow helpful. And in closing, I would like to recite Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.